I got this Acer Nitro desktop gaming PC cheap. The prices are going to be in the description. I got it cheap, and this thing I already took it apart a little bit. I just mocked it up for the video so I could see what I needed to upgrade it, because I took it apart and it's filthy inside. I need to clean it. I'll show you that next. But I ended up taking it apart a little bit. You see there, just enough so I could get a look in it and see what I can upgrade. And what I ended up getting is a 16 gigabyte RAM kit and an exhaust fan, because it doesn't have one, which is nuts. A PC with no exhaust fan, right? You can see it right there, it doesn't have one. But everything else looks good on it. I was gonna tear it down, clean everything out, make it like brand new, repaste the CPU, repaste the GPU, put the upgraded parts in there, and then take it for a run. So let's see how this little machine runs, see if we can turn it back into a beast, bring it to life. But that's the specs. It's got a GTX 1660 Ti, an i5 9th gen. It has Windows 11 already upgraded on it, and I'm upgrading to a 16 gigabyte kit and throwing that exhaust fan on it, and let's see what happens. Here it is, torn down. Doesn't look bad right now, but trust me, it's filthy in there. You can see all that dust in there right there. And I was gonna leave this to have, when the exhaust fan's on there, it could pull air in here as well, not just the side, because it's got like a CD. Here it is right here, see it? That's what was originally on the front, where you can eject and put in a CD. And I mean, who the hell needs that these days? So that's why I feel like I'm gonna actually do something so that way I can increase the airflow to the front, natural airflow to the front. I'm gonna leave that off and start cleaning this thing. You can see what's a little dirty. This thing's never been pulled apart, and there's that cheap RAM kit that they put in there, the factory. You know, they put all these cheap parts in these things and then sell them to people for, you know, when this PC probably came out, it was probably $1,000 or more. But yeah, let's get busy with it. I'm gonna start cleaning it, and I'm gonna disassemble it first and start cleaning. What's with this build is there's no airflow at the bottom. The GPU, it is dusty. It has one fan down there. So I was gonna take this off here. I think when I reinstall it, I think I'm gonna remove this plate here, so that way it can at least try to pull air from there, because there's nothing down there. It's just, I don't know where the hell this thing was getting air, besides the side cover, and the actual holes are higher up, so the GPU was probably getting hot on a tourist day. I guess this kind of helped, but I think another one will help also. So that's the game plan on that one. GPU in all its glory. Look at how nasty it is. I mean, pretty dusty, but yeah, we're gonna get this thing taken apart, repaste it nice and clean. And now I'm gonna pull apart that CPU and then probably just blow out the case, wipe it down. I'm not gonna disassemble more than the CPU fan, take out the CPU, so I could do repasting on these. But everything else I'm gonna leave as is. After I clean it though, I'm gonna make sure everything's nice and clean. The CPU, you can tell that thing's never been taken apart. It's never been cleaned. Same thing here with the cooler. Just all dirty. Actually, it's not as bad as I would expect for never being opened. But yeah, that thing is dusty as hell. So yeah, I'm gonna pull out the CPU next. Here's the CPU, i5-9400F. I just cleaned it, so it needs to dry. Cleaned it with alcohol and cotton swab. Yeah, this thing, I mean, I'm not gonna upgrade this thing. I'm gonna leave it. I don't know if we can find one that's better, that's dirt cheap. This one might run just well. We'll see when I test it. But surprisingly, the paste on it was still pretty liquid. Normally when I pull these things apart, they're like chalk, like dried up and chalky. They're no longer liquid, so that's how that thing went. I still gotta clean that, but yeah, I'm gonna get everything cleaned up in the case next after I wipe that down and get this thing going one at a time, and then disassemble the GPU and repaste that. So I just blew all these out with my electric blower, and it does look better. I'm still gonna wipe it down. So I'm still gonna wipe it down nice and clean in there, as clean as I can get it, and then start taking apart the GPU. CPU's back inside. The case is a little cleaner. I wiped it down pretty good, and yeah, I'm gonna disassemble the GPU and put the CPU fan back on. But yeah, it's gonna be time to clean this thing up. GPU taken apart. I'm gonna have to blow it out and clean it up real good. It was real dusty. Looks like the same kind of paste. It looks like it might be just a little bit liquid. The other one was more liquid than that. The CPU was more liquid than that. That's pretty, yeah. I'll clean this up. GPU now. I wiped it down pretty clean, and went a little extra on this side, and I took the fan. I took this off where the fan connects to, but I didn't take I didn't mess with the bracket on the fan, because like I said before, I've messed with brackets on fans and broken them accidentally because they're so brittle sometimes. I just left it alone, but I did pull it apart and clean it better, as best I could anyway. So it's time to repaste it, put it back together. Pasting the CPU and the GPU with the Arctic MX6. So before, I'm going to be applying a generous amount and spraying it across to make sure all parts of the GPU and the CPU are covered. Well, now you see it, the GPU is finished. I'm not worried about it being messy because it's non-conductive. So now that I'm looking at it, I could probably cover that corner right there and then put the GPU back together. There's a little edges where I missed. GPU nice and clean. I just wiped off the edge, waiting for it to dry. So it's a lot better now, a lot cleaner, freshly pasted. Covered those missed edges. Next is to do the CPU, put the CPU cooler back on, and put the new RAM in, and the new exhaust fan in, and start putting it together so we can boot it. Like I covered that well enough. I covered the top part, the part that pops up, all of it. Put the CPU cooler back on now. CPU fan back on. I was able on this one to tighten the screws down all the way down on this Intel one, so that's cool. Normally on the other AMD ones, I usually have to finger tighten them because it feels like I'm going to tighten them too much and break it. Or just get the RAM in and the GPU in. Pulled out that extra tab there so the GPU can have a spot to pull in more air. Then I got installed the exhaust fan as well, but that's what I did. The older RAM kit, they actually put an 8GB RAM stick and a 4 to get 12GB. Wow. What the hell are they thinking? 12. Maybe back in the day, I think this computer's manufactured 2019, that was probably good or decent. But these days, 16 is like the new minimum, so. But yeah, I've never seen that before, 8.4. Probably because I haven't been doing this long enough. But yeah, that's what they put in there. RAM kit installed. Looks a lot better too. But it's gonna run a lot better with 16 gigs now. Use back in, you see where I gave it some more breathing room right there in the back. So that way when the fan's blowing on the GPU, it can pull in more air. New exhaust fan I bought for this for this PC. I needed an exhaust fan, So it's installed. Let's see how it looks. What it's looking like now. All we gotta do is finish putting it back together. All you gotta do is take this off if you want to upgrade the GPU. Yeah, it's looking way better. Almost time to boot. That's it. I'm thinking about leaving it like that for the airflow. See it? Leave the CD out of there. CD-ROM, the ejector. Thinking about leaving it the hell out of there because it serves no purpose these days, and I feel like nobody's gonna use it, and the natural air coming in now is increased for the exhaust fans. When the exhaust fans pulling that air, it's gonna be able to increase the natural air intake off the front and the sides of the panel. And then the GPU, when it's pulling air, has an extra space to pull air. I was thinking about trying to find something that I can use, like some kind of screen or something that I could put in there, something to dress it up and block it out to provide, like, you know, just some cover, but then just leaving it wide open like that probably works just fine. But that's it. That's the old RAM and the covers for, like, if you want hard drives, which nobody uses anymore, so I left it off. This was the piece that goes off the back where the GPU's at to give it more air, and this is for the CD player, and I got rid of it. I'm taking it out, keeping it out. CDs are like non-existent these days, but yeah, I think it will help it increase the airflow. It's gonna be great. So now it's time to boot it up. The PC running. You hear the little exhaust fan back there. CPU fan. The power button. It does boot into Windows. Everything seems fine so far, but I'm gonna do a factory reset because I noticed that most people don't know how to factory reset it the proper way, where it wipes the drives and all that stuff. Only because you never know what somebody else was doing on the PC when they owned it. But that's it. It's running. It boots into Windows. Give me a second. Alright. I just have it hooked up to my regular monitor. So it's the first time it's booting into Windows. The guy I got it from said he reset it, but when I asked him if he did a complete reset, like a wiping the drives and all that stuff, he said he didn't know. He just hit reset and that was it. So he likely didn't. But yeah, I put this PC on with my keyboard and mouse, but I'm going to be selling it with its own keyboard and mouse. I might even throw in that monitor right there, depending, you know, for $100 more, because like that monitor is brand new. It just sits there and I use it for office. I don't even use it for gaming because it's a 140 hertz monitor, so I only use it for office, and I only use it at 60 hertz. But this one right here is my beastly gaming monitor I use for both office and gaming, but I have this one cranked to 280 hertz. Wow. Let's see. I guess I can show you what a proper install would be, or hard reset would be. So not too bad. This is so far the Acer screen. I'll probably change all this stuff when I'm ready, and it's got Nasty Norton on there. We're gonna take Nasty Norton on there. It's got something else here. to Realtek wireless LAN network adapter. Maybe that's how it gets Wi-Fi. Huh. That's how it gets Wi-Fi. It's got to stay there because most people are going to use Wi-Fi. They're not going to be using anything like an Ethernet. Most people don't use Ethernet, even though I always strongly recommend it. So normally you would go to settings, and then we would go to I believe system. Alright, so I'm not gonna find it like that. Normally you can search it, you just hit reset. You can type reset and it's gonna say reset this PC in system settings. Yeah, system recovery. Alright, that's where it was. So it was in system and then it was in recovery. And you'd go to reset this PC. And what you're going to want to put is remove everything. It's going to kind of prepare. We're going to want a local reinstall. Then this is where how it says do not clean the drive. We're going to want to go to change settings, clean data. So we're going to want to clean the drive. And we don't care how long it takes. We want to do it because we don't want to start using a PC with the drive that someone else was using. We want to like clean that data if we're going to use that same drive, and then move forward. Download Windows, reinstall Windows from this device. So these settings look good to me. We want to clean that data, confirm. Alright, so let me confirm something real quick. What I wanted to do was check Task Manager, the Performance tab, and see how these things are running. So you can see this is a i5 9400F, just like it said. I did upgrade the memory to 16 gigabytes from 12, and it's running at 2400. I'm trying after I do the reset and set it back up, I'm going to see if there's a setting inside of this to kick the RAM speed up to 3200. I don't know if I'll be able to, because when I looked in the BIOS, it didn't have it available because it's like the manufacturer's BIOS. Maybe they don't want that type of maybe they don't want that going on. Even though it's supposed to be a gaming PC, they should have it somewhere where we can boost the RAM. Alright, so we've got a GTX 1660 Ti, and yeah, it's only got 6 gigabytes of memory, like it says. So I wanted to see that before we hit restart. So remove apps and files, clean the drive, reinstall Windows from this device. That's what we're going to do. Then we go to next. So this is how I would say you would properly reset or factory reset a PC. You want to like wipe that drive, wipe everything, and start from scratch. It removes your personal files. It's not going to remove the factory files. There's a way where you can wipe the drive and then reformat it, where it's like you take the copy of Windows off and anything that was on there from the manufacturer, but you don't want to do that, not for this PC. I would only do that, maybe I would do that if I were to change the motherboard and make it more like more of a custom build than a pre-built custom build. Only because I upgraded. Actually, it's an upgraded pre-built. So technically, it's a pre-built upgraded now. And I would only do that if I was gonna change the motherboard. I might not even do that. What if you want to keep the Acer apps and all that stuff? But maybe likely not, right? Like you can probably find them on their website if you wanted them that bad. reset. Everything looked good, so that's how you would thoroughly factory reset it to make sure it's thorough and the drives are wiped clean. Only because I don't care how good someone says they are, or how good they may be, or how bad they might be. I mean, you just don't know what people are doing on their PCs, so I'd rather just reset it the right way, and then start all over again and set it up. But so far, this PC's running good. I mean, I didn't see no issues. I am going to be looking forward to putting MSI Afterburner on it after I get it updated and set up, and testing like Apex Legends on it, and maybe test another game on it, probably like an adventure game. I think it was called, it's one that we test on it, that's an adventure game. What is that game called? Trying to remember what it was called. Hell, I can't remember what it's called. But when I remember, you'll see what it is, because I'm going to likely install on this PC and see how it runs. But for sure, Apex Legends, like shooter games, because like I mostly get people that buy my PCs that want to play FPS games, so I'm probably going to put Apex Legends. I'll look up the minimum requirements for the games, maybe Call of Duty, see if this PC fits the minimum requirements for those games, and see how it does. Just so when people ask, I can let them know, hey, yeah, you can play this game on there. Maybe we'll put Fortnite on here and test them. But yeah, that's how you would do it. It's gonna, restart and continue the process. We don't need to watch all that boring stuff, so I'll get back to you when after that process is done and I'm done setting it up for updates. I'm gonna set it up for updates and gaming and all that stuff, and we'll see how it goes. So we got an update. This PC has been giving me hell. It works good so far, but you cannot update BIOS. The warranty is expired since 2020. They no longer manufacture this desktop, and they pretty much no longer support it. Updates are limited. I tried running the Intel driver and support assistant. It wouldn't run either. And I had hell setting up the NVIDIA app on this PC. It kept, I don't know, it just wouldn't do it. It just wouldn't do it for a while. I had to manually uninstall GeForce Experience and then restart, and then install NVIDIA app, restart, and then try to launch it until it finally launched. And then I did the driver. I had to do update the latest game ready driver, and I had to do a custom install, not the express install. And then I had to check on the custom install. I had to check for the clean install, for a clean installation of the driver. So I don't know if you can see that, but I try to keep the theme on it black and red. That's a Windows wallpaper. I'm gonna look for an Acer one, but yeah, it just I'm gonna download Apex Legends, put Steam on here with Apex Legends, and then put a couple other games on it and just test it. I've gotten it up to date as I can. So the best way to update this PC, I went to Windows Update and I made sure everything was up to date here first. So I checked here to check for updates, made sure it was all completely up to date. And it'll tell you when you're up to date, because you can keep restarting your PC and checking here until it says you're up to date. And then I went to the Microsoft Store for all the apps on here. I went to downloads, and then I went to check for updates, and then you just gotta wait it out. The Acer Care Center does open, and then when you check for critical updates, it says it's up to date. Because I was wondering if I can update the BIOS, because the BIOS is definitely outdated on this PC. It's like the first BIOS that comes with the PC, and nobody's ever updated it ever. But okay, so we're up to date here. And then so like if we go to the Acer Care Center, that's the next one you'll want to go to, which is right here. This one finally opens. I couldn't get it to open for a while, and it says try again later. Wow, it's still initializing. So yeah, I've been having problems with the Acer Care Center. I did get it to open. Let's see if it opens this time. There it goes. And you gotta let it load. It takes forever to load. So the way I got it to work was the copy that came on the SSD itself would not load up. So I had to go to the Acer support page, and I had to download the Acer Care Center for this device. I looked up the Nitro N5600, and I got the Acer Care Center, the most recent one, which is 2025, I think April 2025. And if you go to my downloads page, you'll see what I got. I attempted the BIOS, it didn't work, but I got the Acer Care Center here, and I launched that. I had to do the NVIDIA app because that's the new version. GeForce Experience is no longer up to date, and the Intel driver and support assistant does not work. You can download it, but when you try to use it to keep your Intel components on this PC up to date, it won't run, it won't download, it won't do anything. So I uninstalled it. But it did get some Intel drivers from the regular Windows 11 update, so I'm gonna leave it with that. And but the Acer Care Center, I was able to find the package to update it on Acer's website. And even if you click here, you can go to critical update, and you can check now, and it's gonna just say it's up to date. Your system is up to date. You go to the update history, there's nothing. And that's it basically for this PC. Next is just to put some games on it and test it. I did everything I could for this thing. Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna get I'm gonna go online right now and find some wallpapers for it that are black and red themed, so that way whoever buys the PC, I'm gonna send the wallpapers with the PC with it. So that last background was an Acer background for Windows, just a stock, generic one. This one is the best one I could find, so I'm gonna leave it with this one, for the Nitro, because it's an Acer Nitro desktop, so I just probably leave that one. And oh yeah, I'm gonna install Steam next. Here we are loading shaders on Apex. This PC meets the requirements. The minimum requirements of Apex Legends was lower than the requirements of this PC, so we should be able to run it decently. Of course, we're not going to hit high frame rates, so I'm gonna uncap the frame rate on Windows and on the game itself the way I had it set up on my other PC, and then run Apex on low settings and see how many frames we're hitting on this setup. I'm expecting at least 60 frames per second. I mean, we gotta at least hit the minimum 60 frames per second. If we're getting lower than that, it's gonna suck. But yeah, let's see. Here we go. We're gonna be running a quick game of Apex. I'm gonna hot drop, and then pay attention to the upper left. We're gonna have our stats. So this game gets about 120 to 160 frames consistently in actual gameplay, and it's 1080p low settings. Right now course, the game still, but when we're actually running around in the game and shooting, it's gonna get good frames. So anybody that buys this PC to play it, they're gonna easily get over 60 frames per second. That's a common question I always have, is people asking me if it gets at more than 60 frames. And then our CPU and GPU temperatures and usage, we'll want to watch those there, especially the CPU usage. They're both pretty high, but even though they're both high, they still it plays good. So I'm gonna hot drop. Oh yeah, I'll go here. So we're gonna get some action probably pretty quick. I'm gonna be terrible with this gun. Let's see, hope I can find a better one. Our partner got pushed. Just so the game plays smooth. That was all bad right there. That was bad. That was a bad move. If you notice the frames, we're getting good frames during the game, and the gameplay is smooth. So I know that wasn't the best performance, but it was still a recording of the gameplay of Apex Legends. So this PC can play Apex Legends really smooth at over 60 frames per second consistently. And our CPU and GPU usage was a little bit high, but I don't believe they were bottlenecking either one of them. I think it looked good. So the next recording, maybe make a recording of another game next, but my settings of performance on the NVIDIA app. So if I look at the NVIDIA app, I had the game set to performance. So this game isn't optimized, but it was set to performance, but it's probably not optimized right now because I went into the in-game settings after I set it to performance, and I turned around and adjusted them all to low settings. So I did the 1080p low settings on this rig, which is performance settings pretty much. I did leave on anti-aliasing, I believe, to smooth out the image so it doesn't look jagged edged everywhere. But all the other settings were on disabled or low, and the game did good. The game did good. So this is the Wi-Fi download and upload speeds on it, which are good. What I did was I moved the PC over to my other desk, and this is the keyboard, Redragon gaming keyboard, and the mouse is a G502 Hero gaming mouse that I'm going to sell with the PC. And if somebody wants to pay an extra $100, they can have this monitor with it as well. It's a brand new monitor, and it's 140, I believe, 144 hertz monitor. So if we go into with that, we can go to our Windows settings and make sure that we set our display up on this monitor to make sure we're taking that advantage. Oh, it's a 180 hertz monitor, that's right. So this is a brand new monitor. It's a 180 hertz monitor, and we just seen with the Apex on my other monitor. It was a 280 hertz monitor. It was pulling, well over 100 frames per second in game, and it's going to be the same with this monitor. Even though it's 180 hertz, it's still not going to reach the maximum 180 hertz, not with this setup, but it's going to be good. I'm deciding to put the DVD optical drive back on, and then I ended up connecting the wiring behind here back together. I think it's supposed to light up. We'll see when I turn it back on. Final, this is it. I put it back together, and it's like new. And that's it for this one. I'm gonna power it back on to see what lights up, what doesn't. Make sure the drive works properly, the DVD drive, and that's it. Wrap it up. Here it is. Connected back on my other desk, and it does light up. That thing lights up red. So pretty cool, right? And the drive works. Or so I think it works. It should work. There it goes. Well, I had a disc in there already, so I'll have to look that up, put it in there and run it and see. It says drivers and something else for, I don't know. I'm gonna look that up though and see what that's all about. But yeah, that thing works. All right. So I'm gonna take some final videos and go from there. I don't know what that thing was all about, but we'll see if it plays or if I can get it to play. Turned out that disc was to download software for an Epson printer, so I took it out. But this thing does work. When there's a disc in there, the notification comes up and it asks you, what do you want to do with this disc, if you want to play it, whatever. So yep, that's that. Finished product. Gonna put it to market. It can only do dual monitors if one's HDMI, one's DisplayPort, because the GTX 1660 Ti only has 2 connections in the back, only 2 ports, one DisplayPort, one HDMI.